This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, and the stories that leads the show are: net neutrality is dead. Now what? International House of Burgers. Anthony Bourdain and mental issues or mental health. Disabling Facebook fundraisers. And the big news is Yahoo Messenger is to be retired. I want to welcome you to episode 1289 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, June 11th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider or simply paypal.me/geeknews. You can pick up Ohana gear at cafepress.com/Ohana store. Hey, warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. And of course, a very, very, very warm welcome to all of our Ohana, all the folks that are longtime listeners and viewers of the show. Thank you for being here as well. And of course, if you're brand new to the show, it's real simple. To stay connected to this podcast, all you have to do is go over to geeknewscentral.com. And when you're on the website, get subscribed to the show. All you got to do is scroll down a little bit down on the website, right on the right-hand column of the website. You can subscribe via Apple Podcasts, on Android, via email, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, or you can just use a standard RSS feed. Of course, this show is also on Spotify, so you can catch it over there, even though they're having trouble keeping the show updated. But those are places. If you're, again, Android or iOS user, we've got you both covered. Just click on the link to get you where you need to be to subscribe to the show. A little bit further down on the page is the link for the newsletter. Get subscribed to the newsletter. Don't miss a single episode. The newsletter goes out immediately following the show. Contains everything I'm going to talk about during the podcast today. You can find all the old episodes along with great content on the website at geeknewscentral.com. Of course, you can join our chat room at geeknews.chat. It's a Mastodon instance, and real easy to get in there and chat with the Ohana. Join the chat room and get connected with the team. That's a great way to do that. Get connected with everyone that hangs out in there. And of course, you can email if you have comments on today's show at geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at geeknews. You can join our Slack channel if you want as well. Send me an email and let me know you want to join. You can follow me on Google Plus or on Facebook just by searching for my name. You can watch this show on the Roku via the Tech Podcast channel or on your Apple TV just by searching for Geek News Central. You can listen on Stitcher or Blueberry.com. And if you have a smart home device, whether it be an Amazon Echo, a Google Home, or a Microsoft Cortana device, all you have to do is tell those devices using their keyword to play the podcast Geek News Central. And 9 out of 10 times that'll get you started to listening to the latest edition of the show. Partner shows include No Better Than Average with Jacob and Jeff, the Gadget Professor, Mr. Don Bain, the Pro Gear site being written by my team here at GNC, the new media show with my co-host, Mr. Rob Greenlee, and the Podcast Legends show at podcastlegends.com. All those shows can be found at the top of the banner at geeknewscentral.com. Just click in them to get through. This show, of course, is sponsored by our good friends over at GoDaddy, the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast. They've been with me here since June of 2005, and we want you to take advantage of all the deals that we have available through GoDaddy. And I tell you, it's real simple. geeknewscentral.com is the place that'll take you to basically where all the codes are at. Whether it be 30% off a new product purchase, 99cent.com, $1 a month economy hosting, $1 a month managed WordPress hosting. Both of those deals are the first year and you get a free domain with them. Or you can get a 1-month free trial of GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal, business, or business plus plans. Again, all those deals are geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Go there often. Share with your friends, family members, people that you know. We want you to hook them up with these deals. Father's Day is coming up. So, ladies, if you haven't bought your husband a domain name yet, you can do that for 99 cents. And fellas, pick your dad up a domain as well. So definitely check it out at geeknewscentral.com /GoDaddy. Even pick up a website, and get that deal, $12. Get them started. definitely make sure that you select the 1-year option. They'll often automatically set it for 3, and you'll be looking at that and say, why is that $200? Click it back to 1 year subscription, and that'll get you the $12 code. You can copy or paste the codes at checkout, or just click on the link to lock them in right from the website. That's often the easiest, or you can use the code at checkout. Don't forget to use the code. That's the key over at GoDaddy. So again, thanks for GoDaddy for being a sponsor here at Geek News Central. Hey, Joseph, welcome to the show. Joseph is up late. My goodness, my friend, if you're on the East Coast, why are you not asleep? So welcome. All right, let me get through my little list here of stuff that I have to share with you. So one last show before I'm out for 3 shows. Going to be out on vacation. It's the longest vacation I've taken in many, many years, 11 days. And of course, I get back from vacation on a Wednesday from spending all that time, many, many time zones away. And the Thursday show after I get back should be interesting. I'll probably be like a zombie. My body will not know what time it is, because I think about the time I'm doing the show here is like 6 o'clock in the morning where I will have been. But I get back relatively early on Wednesday. Even though I leave Wednesday night their time, I get back Wednesday morning here. So yeah, I have a full day and be able to nap and then hit it Thursday night. So it should be good. Been just busy. The podcasting space remains on fire. I've been working on contracts, NDAs, having phone calls almost every morning, starting really about 5 a.m. The phone lights up and I'm on the phone for a couple of hours, usually every morning. And it's kind of how my days start out. But that's just kind of the way it is. And one thing I'll do when I'm on this trip, I'll try to shoot some video on my trip. We'll see what I can score. And I'm not taking a lot of gear. The only camera I'm taking is a little mini Sony camera, and it'll shoot 4K. And so I'll use this and my cell phone and get some content and bring it back. Don't know how good the audio is going to be with this. I'm not taking a big camera with a boom mic. Just don't want to risk lugging a big camera around and the potential for. And I'm going to be in typically a third world country, so don't necessarily want to set myself up for an issue. So that's going to be the way it's going to be. One thing I just want to make you guys aware of, finally, it is taking forever, but I finally got Angelo to spend some time on my website this Saturday, and we are finally SSL. Geek News Central is finally HTTPS. I've gotten almost all the sites set up except for one, and that is the No Better Than Average. I got to get in there and get their site converted over. But everything else, the New Media Show, Pro Gear site, the Gadget Professor, Podcast Legends are all HTTPS. Then I just got one more site to do. It takes me about 30 minutes to get everything done and converted and make sure the links are all resolving HTTPS and so forth. So I get that knocked out, and then we'll just go from there. So it should be good. I'm pretty happy. I'm using a plugin, and the plugin causes the site to be just a little bit not as responsive. I think I have an idea what's going on. It shouldn't affect any of you that are, because everything's mostly cached. So if you're coming to the website and don't have administrative controls, you won't actually see the slowdown. But definitely going to be looking at that and see if it can improve the performance a little bit. But I don't think most of you will really notice much change on the website whatsoever. But anyway, you guys, I know I'm a geek, but this is a pretty complicated setup that I'm running under with multiple websites. Just doing a single website's not that difficult, but because I'm using multi-site, WordPress multi-site, it's a little bit more complicated and needed a little extra hands-on to get that set up. But I'm pretty happy so far that we've made the transition. I'm watching Google to see what they're going to do with some of my key search terms once they pick up the HTTPS and essentially the indexing updates across the ecosphere. So should help me, shouldn't be hurt, but good change here to finally get done after I've been really wanting it done for quite a while. Okay, so let me go ahead here and get into the stack. Got a good lineup of stuff tonight. And Kirk did a good job. I think I only added maybe 4 or 5 articles, and I've got some stuff I have to do with him too in preparation for my trip, working on audio levels. I got to send him some screen caps tonight. So as I'm doing post-show processing, I'll be doing screen caps for him, and that way he can get the audio processor set up that I have purchased for him. So at least he'll have that ready to go when I'm on travel. All right, first story up here is today's the day. Net neutrality's dead. The legal protections against content discrimination on the internet are gone. But if you think about this, none of that had actually been truly implemented. And so not a lot is, at this point, I think, really going to change. So I think we're just going to have to watch and see what happens. And, companies were, being held to a standard, and they knew what net neutrality was going to force them to implement. But, they voted 3-2 back in December to basically restoring what they call the Restoring Internet Freedom Order. So, there's going to be some time here where we'll watch and see if it really makes any difference. And I've always said that if you have a problem with your service provider, what you need to do is take it to your service provider and complain. We already know, and we already have a good sense of how cable companies and wireless carriers are going to behave now. For years, carriers have been striking deals with video and streaming services like Netflix, allowing for more reliable data delivery, or free mobile data known as zero rating. And if you're an AT&T customer, you can watch cable programming on your phone and it won't count towards your data cap. So far, that is mostly translated to free stuff, so no one's been worried about it. But with these rules out of the way and the current FCC's light touch, carriers are free to use that same playbook more aggressively. And paid prioritization deals could allow carriers to boost specific companies and products. So again, just keep an eye on things, and we'll see. But of course, many states are putting in place net neutrality laws of their own. There's 29 states and over 65 bills that have been introduced since the FCC basically voted not to enact net neutrality. And governors in 6 states, including my state here in Hawaii, then Rhode Island and Vermont, have signed executive orders that ban any service provider from operating in those states if they refuse to abide by the 2015 rules. So you just need to keep an eye on your service and see how it is. And, call your service provider and complain when there's issues. Don't be afraid to scream as loudly as possible and shame companies on the internet. It works very effectively when you are posting on Facebook and you're posting on Twitter and you're calling the company out on the phone. Make them listen. Make sure they hear you if you have a problem. I'm very vocal. And here in Hawaii, I'm on a first name basis with some of the folks from Hawaiian Telecom. They know how I feel about some of this. As a matter of fact, I need to start looking to see if they've introduced 1 gig in my neighborhood as they promised to do, so that there's some competition between my cable provider and the secondary secondary connection that I use to maintain some of these streams that I'm pushing tonight. Like we're pushing to live stream, YouTube Live, and we're also on Facebook Live. So even with the service, sometimes I see issues, and that is cause for concern considering how much bandwidth I supposedly have here. All right, Wendy's, Waffle House, Denny's have been taunting IHOB for its name change. and they've started an old-fashioned food fight on the internet. Denny said, "Grandpa, do you remember the Great Burger Wars?" And the response is, LOL. No, I was chilling, drinking milkshakes and trying to make sense of Westworld. So it was a little bit of a slam here, but what it really came down is Wendy's said, "You just going to let IHOB sell burgers on your block?" Someone said to Wendy's, and Wendy's said, "Not really. Not literally faded burgers from a place that decided pancakes were too hard." Ooh. Wendy's said, "Remember when you were like 7 and thought changing your name to Thunder Beer Sword would be super cool? Like that, but our cheeseburgers are still better." And then Waffle House said, "Even though we serve delicious burgers, we know our roots." And then Steakum changed their Twitter page to Cake'em, and they were taunting them a little bit. And they said, "Steak's too hard, so we're going to become Cake'em." And then White Castle says, "We're excited to announce that we'll be switching our name to Pancake Castle." Burger King actually changed their front of their website to Pancake King. They had a little fun. Whataburger even had a little more. Whataburger says, "As much as we love our pancakes, we'd never change our name to What a Pancake." I like to have a good Whataburger once in a while. And actually, I'm speaking of Whataburger, I might be getting to go and do some business in Texas. I'm in negotiations right now to go to Texas, maybe August, September timeframe. So maybe I'm going to be able to get me a Whataburger again. I haven't been in Texas in a long time for a Whataburger. So that's high on the list. Netflix said, "Be right back, changing my name to Netflib." Okay. Then professional baseball team Philadelphia Phillies went to the trouble of making its own name change announcement. Turns that Major League Baseball franchise into the Billies. 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 So anyone's having a little bit of fun on IHOB's part. So anyway, I haven't, and to be honest with you, is it a publicity stunt or are they really changing it to IHOB, International House of Burgers? And it really does make you go, just a little bit. All right. A couple of big time name suicides here in the last week or so. And Anthony Bourdain's, I think, probably, loved his programs. Probably the only guy I really like over on CNN as far as watching his travel series. And but, he admitted in the past of struggling with depression. There's a lot of military guys, PTSD and combat-related stuff that really have trouble too as well. And I know that there's other folks. I know there's people listening to this show that are hurting or depressed. And I would just encourage you, and it's just as a word here, we care, but you have to speak up. You have to tell someone. You have to tell someone, and there's no shame. There's no shame in admitting when you're depressed. I've been lucky throughout the years. I have not had much depression. I sometimes get kind of, I call it melancholy. Is that the right? I just destroyed that word. I kind of get, but not truly depressed. But on my wife's side, there's been challenges. Some of her family members having bouts of depression. We lost my wife's brother to an apparent suicide. So it's a real deal out there. And I'm just going to implore upon everyone that listens to this show, if, please get help. Please tell someone, talk to someone. It's important. And even here in my own household, if someone's not acting right, I talk to them and make sure that their mental state is where it needs to be. It's tragic, and suicides are up in the United States. Suicides have always been high in Japan and other places. Culturally, it's been high in Japan. So I'm just asking those of you that, maybe having challenges, we care about you and we want you to get help. And there's obviously national hotlines, but I truly feel reaching out to a friend, a family member, and expressing you're having challenges because we want you with us. And please consider getting help. I know many folks will never say anything, but if I can just get one of you that may be suffering from depression to talk to someone and talk to your family physician, or I'll call one of those hotlines. It's one less tragedy. We want you around. This world's already tough enough with everything else going on. Than to lose someone because they didn't get help, and we want you to get help. So I'll just leave it at that. But with Anthony Bourdain, I don't know what. If you think about the depths of misery he had to be in, the grind, the travel grind, and the production grind, and everything else, and to be honest with you, this show, even though I'm only doing 2 shows a week, plus some weeks I'm doing 4, and matter of fact, we have to re-record a show we did last week because we lost a recording. It's not, I'm not under like this incredible production pressure, and Kirk has helped a lot in doing pre-show prep and made things easier for me. But as I've told you guys for many, many years, I went 3, 4, 5 years hardcore with this show, and got to a certain point. I decided I do need to have a little periodic break here and there, just for me time, and because I'm always cranking here. I'm busy, and I don't work as many hours as I used to. In the early days, it was from sun up to sundown and beyond. And I try not to work that hard now. Try to put in, as crazy as it sounds, but I probably still work 12 hours a day, and take an hour for lunch, and that's still a normal day for me. But I used to work 16, 17 hours a day, and so I don't know what an 8-hour day is. I haven't for 30 years, to be honest with you. So. And that's why I'm going to the gym and doing the things I'm doing. And, we just all have to address our personal selves as much as possible. Speaking of the gym, had a great workout. Great workout. And, on track, the weight's down, and I'm going down, watching the food. We had a little bit of a bigger meal today because my son and his girlfriend just came back from Japan, and we splurged a little bit, but we can do that. All right, moving on here. Next topic. I don't get this too often, but some of you get Facebook fundraiser notifications, and Kirk was like, oh my God, thank God they've done this, but there's a way now to disable these fundraiser notifications. So if you're getting a lot of donating for birthdays, charitable causes, if you're seeing a lot of those, you can disable them, make them go away, and not really be hit with those very much. So anyway, good way to lock it out. Again, it's something I guess other more people do it than I just don't see it on my side that much. We've talked about this VPN filter malware that's infected a million routers, but there's a list now, a full complete list of routers known to be vulnerable. Everything from Asus, D-Link, Hawaii, Linksys, MikroTik, Netgear, QNAP, TP-Link, Ubiquiti, and ZTE devices. So talks about all the routers that need to be reset, upgrade your firmware. Again, link in the show notes. We don't want any of you to be one of those that have an infected router. Big news of the day is Yahoo Messenger is no more. Verizon, Oath, the Verizon subsidiary, which owns Yahoo and AOL, is shutting down the ancient messaging service. How long has anyone used Yahoo Messenger? I haven't used my Yahoo Messenger like in years. But Yahoo Messenger's been with us for 20 years. Originally launching as Yahoo Pager in 1998. And this was Yahoo's alternative to ICQ. How many of you remember ICQ? Oh my God. Man, I loved ICQ. And what it, I don't even remember what even happened to ICQ. I really don't. When we started doing the show, I was still using ICQ. But I don't even remember what happened to ICQ. But so it's done, July 17th. And you can download your Messenger history if you want to. But it's not necessarily been a fun ride, but it's done. It's gone. In the old web, if you think about it, the old web is slowly dying. December 2017, AIM ceased to be. Clout was put to pasture. StumbleUpon is shutting down. So anyway, everyone's using WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and using Twitter direct message. That seems to be the connectioning and interconnection points of the day are just straight up cell phone SMS, A woman has sued NASA over a vial of moon dust, supposed moon dust. Matter of fact, some tests done doesn't even conclusively prove it's moon dust, but she's got a pretty big vial of it, and she's basically going to court to try to have it basically said it's yours, but NASA wants that moon dust. So we'll see what happens with this specific court battle. Supposedly Neil Armstrong gave this to her, and it's got a signed card from Neil Armstrong, and with all the details. So we'll see. Hey, a French hospital is using virtual reality as a drug-free pain solution. This is interesting. The use of virtual reality, even video games, as an alternate form of pain management isn't exactly heard of. Researchers are well aware of VR's potential to distract patients at the dentist and combat phantom pains. I go to the dentist on Wednesday, teeth cleaning. Graduate students at St. Francis Hospital in France have designed an immersive virtual program that's being used to help patients relax and increase pain tolerance without painkillers. I'll take the painkillers. When I'm in pain, no VR for me. Just give me the pill or the shot. And, of course, it's considered experimental at this point. If you want to give me the shot and put me on the VR headset, great. Sounds like a good time. Oh. Problem with VR in the dentist's office, you'd be moving your head, right? All right, so there's a lot of choices out there when it comes to music streaming services. And I don't think we all really even realize how many there are. Of course, we've got Spotify, we've got Apple Music, we've got Pandora, we've got Google Play Music, we've got Amazon Music Unlimited, we've got Amazon Prime Video and Music, we've got YouTube Red, which is essentially YouTube Premium, we've got Netflix actually has some music as well. We've got Hulu. So huge options here. I primarily, and I pay for streaming on Pandora and Apple Music. I don't think we pay for Spotify. No, we don't. I believe we pay for Apple Music and Pandora. So it seems to be a pretty good mix. I actually need to check that. Make sure I'm not paying for 3. But I may have paid for Spotify when we were getting listed over there. I don't know. I have to look. Review your credit card bill. I do mine. I don't remember seeing that bill, but I need to look at it. So anyway, there's 9 of the best streaming services. Apple Music, I think I like it from the family plan the best. And the number of individual accounts are 6, so all my family can get on at the same time. Those of you that have Windows out there, and I still have a few Windows machines. Matter of fact, I'm taking my Windows machine with me on travel. I'm leaving the Mac home. And part of the reason that is less temptation to steal it. So I'm taking an older Windows PC with me. I had it sitting on the counter yesterday, getting all the updates and virus updates. So I will be taking my Windows machine with me. But most computer geeks out there, are always looking for stuff to free up space on their hard drive. There's something called WinDAR It's an incredible useful utility that shows which folders and files are taking so much room in your hard drive. I used a Tree Map, I think is one I use, but a pretty good recommendation on this one called WinDAR. And most of you have WizTree. You're familiar with that. But anyway, WinDAR, and let me see, is there a price on it? It looks a lot like a tree size, but this one's a little bit different. WizTree or WinDAR, and you can basically dig out where all those big files and stuff are. So link will be up in the show notes. Okay, so right now there's an incredible deal. If you're an Android user, you can grab the Samsung Galaxy S8 unlocked for $500 or an S8 Plus for $590. And it's a 64 gig Samsung Galaxy S8, great price, $499, or the larger one for $589. These normally sell for $724 and $824 respectively. So a little bit of a price cut there on a Galaxy S8. Diamonds in the sky give new stars their twinkle twinkle. Some young stars in the Milky Way are blinged out all the way down to the nanoscale, sporting clouds of tiny diamonds so hot they actually glow. Astronomers have discovered that a faint and until now unexplained microwave light coming from several protoplanetary disks in our galaxy is caused by massive swarms of microscopic diamonds in the space. The disks are basically swarms of dust and debris surrounding a star so young that planets are just beginning to form around it. And it turns out that some adolescent star systems like to spend a significant amount of their carbon on that sparkling ice, which announced their existence to the rest of the galaxy a little like blinged out. So, but anyway, they've been looking at this particular area and are pretty excited about it. So I guess you can go out there with a net and scoop up diamonds. But if they're microscopic, they won't be that big, will they? Samsung is appealing the $539 billion verdict in the Apple case. Well, because they can. And the battle continues and the lawyers continue to get paid. This is all back in the 2011 case. So Samsung's, they want their money back. Apple is banning cryptocurrency mining on the iPhone and iPad. And new developer guidelines released at WWDC set new rules for cryptocurrency and basically say it is not allowed. The specific language says the apps may facilitate virtual currency storage provided they are offered by developers enrolled as an organization. In addition, apps may not mine directly for cryptocurrencies unless the mining is performed in the cloud or otherwise off device. Apps may facilitate transactions or transmission of cryptocurrency on an approved exchange, provided they're offered by the exchange itself. Although apps facilitating initial coin offerings must originate from established banks, security firms, future commission merchants, or other approved financial institutions. And finally, the cryptocurrency-related apps may not offer currency for completing tasks such as downloading other apps, encouraging other users to download, posting to social networks. So big rule changes for mining on the iPhone, the iPad. It is not allowed. Google Pixel 3 may bring wireless charging back to Google phones. Google is rumored to be working on its own wireless charging dock. So the hint comes from the Google Android P Beta 2. Some developers spent time digging through the code and found evidence that Google may be adding support for a new wireless charging dock. So good news if you like the Pixel brand, all right? Over at makeuseof.com, 6 ways to find Mac and iPhone App Store discounts. So oftentimes you don't even know if there is a discount on a particular app. But this has got the ability here to create a list of apps that you're thinking about buying. And then when they go on sale, you're informed. and you can get updates on pricing changes. So there's several apps out there. One's called CECREE. Another one is App Shopper, App Sliced, iOS IO Snoops, IFTTT Applet for the App Store. So all these apps basically track pricing of apps you may be interested in purchasing, looking for that sale to be announced. So Netflix is hiring everybody in and out of Hollywood to make more TV shows. They're spending $8 billion this year on original productions. And that's an incredible amount of money being used to bring new content to Netflix. And Netflix is really overthrowing television's old business model, and they're really making a huge impact here. And if you think where Netflix started and just getting a DVD in the mail and where they're at now, it's pretty amazing. It really, really is. So they're spending a big pile of cash to bring new original content here. So there's a full report on this over at vulture.com, which is a television movie periodical that is online. It has all the inside scoop from Hollywood. So we'll see what comes from Netflix. Also, if you've been thinking about the Apple Watch Series 3, there's a 20% discount available right now on a few different models from Nike. You can use the code 20summer. Link will be up in the show notes if you're looking to get that. Don't waste too much time. This is a short-term offer, okay? Good article over on Lifehacker talking about how internet ads follow us around. Chris Yu, he's a tech public policy expert, recently tweeted 14 different ways that ads follow you around the internet, even when you're logged out or in incognito using a different browser on a new device. He starts out his thread by saying, ever wonder how those adverts manage to keep on finding you even when you go incognito, switch devices, or never actually search for the product in the first place? Let us count the many, many ways. And he's got this full thread of basically everything that he knows of on how you're being tracked. It's a pretty interesting read. Won't take you too long to get through them. One important one is Facebook trackers, which are embedded on any site that integrates the Facebook like buttons, Facebook page widgets, or other social tools. And one of the things he says, you open Google and search for a product or website, which helps Google build up a profile of you and your interests. Later on, use your Google account to sign in somewhere else, and you see ads based on this profile. By the way, you can turn off ad personalization if you want, or you're logged into Facebook. You visit a website and it has Facebook's tracking pixel, the like button, which lets Facebook know that you've been there. Later on, you visit Facebook and your newsfeed contains adverts based on what you were looking at earlier. He also includes a few ways to minimize personalization. For example, you can reset your phone's unique identifier. He says you install an app on your phone and sign into it using one of your online accounts. You guessed it, your device ID is now associated with that account. Later on, you see an ads based on your apps when you're using the account on your computer. So Apple, Android, and Windows are all mobile devices. All let you disable or reset the device ID. And of course, this is not going to stop seeing ads, but reduce the amount of personalization that can follow you from one app to the other. So a pretty good thread. I'll have a link up there where you can check out all the pieces to that. Check this out. Facebook, the Zuckerberg testified, and there was a lot of questions. He said, I'll have to get back to you on that. We'll get you an answer. The social network received more than 2,000 congressional questions, and they have released the social network's written response to those questions and more. It's huge. It is a 229-page document responding. 229 pages. Now, can you imagine? This to me is amazing. It says, please note, we received over 2,000 questions from the Senate and House, before which we testified on April 10th and 11th. We appreciate the extra time you gave us to respond to these questions. We did our best to review and answer them in an available time frame. We respectfully request an opportunity to supplement or amend our responses as needed. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Examples, links. They must have had 100 people working on this thing. And can you imagine being the poor, every lawyer at Facebook how many drafts did this have to go through? 229 pages. Anyone up to reading it? I am sure there is a plethora of good stuff in here. If I could assign a page to every, if I could say, okay, Tony, you've got pages 1 through 10. Sam, you got pages 11 through 20. We could get through this thing and pull out some gems. I'm going to have some time. I have 7 hours on my first leg in the airplane, and I'm going to have this loaded, and I'm going to try to read. This has got to have some juicy stuff in it. It really does. And I'm going to try to get through some of this. I'll probably fall asleep by page 5, but there's got to be some good stuff in here. It really, really is. 2,000 questions are asked. 229 pages. I'll have the link in the show notes. It's actually in the actual article as well, so don't worry, you'll be able to get to it. The FBI has announced the arrest of 74 email fraudsters on 3 continents. The cyber-enabled financial fraud allegedly carried out by those apprehended could involve social engineering and computer intrusion to dupe company executives into wiring money. A criminal could use executives' compromised email to facilitate transfer or request W-2 information from within the organization. The scam is essentially a more sophisticated version of the Nigerian prince emails that pestered the average user for money. 29 suspects were arrested 29 of the suspects were arrested in Nigeria, 42 in the United States, and the rest in Canada, Mauritius, and Poland. And several cases involved global crime groups that defrauded companies big and small. So, wow, huge. So they rolled up 74 people. Good international cooperation there to get those people rolled up. I'm sure it's just the tip of an iceberg. Verizon has a new CEO, Hans Vestberg. And so we'll see what happens with his leadership. The new CEO has the opportunity to light a new different path for growth if he plays his cards right. And we'll see where it goes. I was pretty unhappy that I was unable to get more and I was willing to pay for more gigabits on my MiFi device. And so I've been looking around, and T-Mobile, I can move up quite a bit. So I might, increase my T-Mobile bandwidth and decrease my Verizon. I'm having as good and I have 2 MiFis. I'm having as good of connection with T-Mobile as I am with Verizon. Matter of fact, sometimes T-Mobile's better with that device, depending on where I'm at. So definitely going to be looking at that very close. The new iPhone 10 and iPhone 10 Plus have been leaked. The dimensions, at least, and what looks like some new camera or flash options on the back of the device. So link will be up in the show notes on that. Nothing too radical so far. This one I thought was cool. Police departments are training dogs to sniff out thumb drives. So they're using canines to sniff out thumb drives, phones, and other electronics. They train search dogs to associate food with locating the faint chemical smell of electronic devices. It's a lesser known use for the canine programs across the country. Only one dog one says that CNET that out of every 50 dogs tested, only one has a nose strong enough to identify the weak scent in electronics, specifically looking for the chemical compound triphenylphosphine oxide, which can be found in all gadgets that contain memory. The instructor said electronics are harder to sniff out than bombs. Drugs, humans, or flammable liquids, in particular, Labrador retrievers tend to have excellent snouts that are required to do the jobs. Dogs are able to detect the scent, are known as electronic storage detection dogs. How cool is that? So they're going into people's houses on search warrants. They're looking for their hard drive. Someone's got kitty porn, and they're looking for their stash. And pretty easy to hide a USB drive. But when you got a dog that's coming in to sniff it out, just like drugs, they're going to find it. I haven't watched Westworld episode 8 yet. I'm not going to read this article, but there's a link in the show notes. If you've watched it, you can look at the analysis. So I'm going to get in there and watch it this week before I take off. Thinking about a new laptop? Got a graduate that's going to go to college? Well, there's a list of 10 the best laptops of 2018. Everything from a simple budget laptop to a productive workhorse or screening machine for gaming. There's something here. One of the selections is the Dell XPS 13, which I really, truly love. On the low end, there's the Acer Swift 1 at $257, the Dell XPS at $999. We've got the Apple MacBook Pro coming in 13-inch at $1299, all the way up to Razer Blade Stealth at $1399, and even the Microsoft Surface Book 2 is in there. But there's a couple of weird ones in here I've never heard of. Origin PC at $1,600, must be a top-end gamers. But the Dell XPS got 4.5 stars. The Acer Swift got 4.5. Lenovo Yoga got 4.5. No one got 5, but a couple of them got 4s. But anyway, all the specs are there. You have to give them your email to get to the article. What I put in is good luck there at gmail.com to unlock the article. There's a great article in Computer World talking about the evolution of the Mac OS and Mac OS X or OS 10. And, it's a staple going back since 2001. And there's 16 slides that talk about everything from the origin of cheetah to puma to jaguar to panther to tiger, all this stuff that was long ago. Leopard, I remember leopard, snow leopard, lion, mountain lion, mavericks. So again, all these versions of OS 10 and the history thereof linked up in the show notes. You can kind of do a trip down memory lane for you Mac fans. All right, Nest has dropped the price of its security cameras or security systems to $400. And, one of the main knocks against Nest comprehensive smart home security system was its high cost. They dropped the price by $100, again, from $499 to $399. It's still not cheap. When I put in my security system here, which I have upgraded a couple of times with some new sensors and stuff, I think I spent... with cameras and everything, wow, maybe $3,000. And this stuff now, $400, get you a kit to get started. And then you can buy additional sensors and stuff for like $40. It's just amazing. It really is to me. I still like having I have an actual alarm, local monitored service, someone locally that I know the team over there and they service my system and come in and replace batteries and anything that needs to be done with the system on a service call. And I pay a premium for that. I probably pay $40 a month for the monitoring service. But I'll be honest with you, I do really believe the local hands-on is better. largely because when they call me, if there's a false alarm, it's usually someone I've talked to in the past there. They know their customers. I can call them and say, hey, we're going to be out for 3-4 days. If there's an alarm, it's the real deal because no one's going to be home. So having, communications with them works out well. Anyway, link will be up in the show notes on that. The Samsung Galaxy Note 9 release date is out. So just be aware that that's coming down the pike here. And did they say the date? I thought we had the date. The launch date is August 9th. And then, of course, the availability be somewhere around there. So all the specs are available for the Galaxy Note 9. All right. Facebook Memories is a dedicated spot for nostalgia. That's something new to Facebook. I hate that nostalgia stuff when it pops up. It's kind of annoying. But if you want to look at memories, you can do that. That's a new section in Facebook. Today, also, the U.S. Department of Treasury has issued another round of sanctions against a handful of Russian groups and individuals. These latest sanctions have been placed against companies that are controlled by and or have provided support to Russia's federal security services, as well as some entities that own or buy or have acted on behalf of those that have allegedly supported the FSB. You guys know that Mueller and his team had indicted some Russian companies. Did you hear one of them came? I don't know if we talked about on the show, have come and want to fight. They want to go to court and they're demanding discovery. In other words, they have a right to all this stuff. If they've been charged, they've got a right to defend themselves so that during discovery, they can get all the evidence against them. I hope that goes full court because I want to see them publish all that stuff online. I think that would be pretty awesome. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen. I would suspect that probably Mueller's team didn't think no one would fight, and it's probably going to, I would suspect they'll drop it. But then they'd even look even worse. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that particular case. Little shot of H2O here, sorry. So, some of you love the Blackberry. The Blackberry Keynote is now available for $400. So if you are interested in that particular mobile device, you can definitely check it out. I tell you, Kirk, we're hitting about the 50-minute mark. So so far, the feedback has been positive to the show being just a little bit shorter. So I don't know how we kind of hit this. I've hit this 50 mark, but so far it seems to be working pretty good. And I don't know why. I thought I had the comments. I'd gotten several comments. Maybe I didn't copy them into the right folder, but so far, everyone that's responded, and I apologize, I don't have your emails to read directly. I must have screwed up. So anyway, definitely, this is seems like I'm no complaints so far. So I guess that's a good thing. All right, we're going to wrap the show up. Yes, we're going to get out of here. geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, please support GoDaddy. And with my promo codes, tell your friends, family members, people that you know, coworkers, man on the street. You can promote it on your Twitter feed, my geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can post it on Facebook. All that. If you're not coming in as an insider with $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 a month as a support vehicle, just by posting the link in your Twitter feed or on Facebook, or if you have a blog and you recommend that they come over, that's all good for me. Whenever you're promoting geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, just go to the page and grab the link because it's a little bit longer than I have a short code to get there. Just grab the link off the page and put that in your Twitter feed or your Facebook feed. Definitely mention it's a sponsored link because, the FCC stuff requires that. But definitely want you to, or FTC, one of those two groups, your promotion of my codes goes a long, long way. I did get the numbers in for, see, where are we at? We're in May. We're in June. The May numbers came in. Just a little soft, but I'm happy, no issues. still a great month. Considering it's summertime, I'm pleased with the numbers. There's always a little bit of June, July, August is a little bit soft normal anyway, just because it's that time of year when people are outside, not doing a lot of stuff online. So we'll see where June comes in, but May, I start to see a little taper off. So share those codes with your friends, family members. That's greatly appreciated, very, very much. And for all the insiders out there, thank you for your ongoing continued support. The $25 a month folks, make sure you're keeping your own accounting, and you let me know when you hit the $1,000 mark, because definitely want to get you your Ohana spear, your warrior spear. And if you're not an insider already, geeknewscentral.com/insider. Just $2 a day is like 6.7 cents. $2 a month is 6.7 cents a day. And I hope I'm worth 6.7 cents a day. All right, everyone. Or, if you want to go $25, it's, like 80 cents a day. So that would even be better. But everyone, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. We'll see you on Thursday for the show. And everyone take care. Aloha.